Good evening, rockers. Vegas Rock got us here on the Rocks Total Entertainment, coming to you live from somewhere off the Las Vegas Strip. Tonight, I have a great interview with a local band, Generation Landslide. They've been heavily on the scene for quite some time, and I got to meet them, a couple members of the band, last year at Rockstar Bar. So we're kind of reconnecting here. We're going to see where 23 is taking this band. They're a solid rock and roll band. So I'm super excited. Want to give a shout out to Dave Tedder for setting up the interview. So we are going to get to know Generation Landslide. So we're going to wait for them to come in here and we're going to get the party started soon. Okay, Generation Landslide's knocking on my door, so let's get them in and get the party started. Hey, Anthony.
Well, hello there.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I feel like I just saw you just a little while ago.
I know. Isn't that crazy? Like after a couple years, because I met you at Rockstar Bar, and then you knew Dave, and I didn't put two and two together till I saw you at the Sally Steele premiere.
Right. Yeah, it's a small world, isn't it?
I know, it's crazy. Vegas is like becoming the new LA, I think.
I agree.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, thanks for coming on because I really love your band. I saw your videos. I've been listening to your music. You guys are a solid rock and roll band. So let's go back a little bit. Why don't you tell the viewers when you guys actually became Generation Landslide?
Wow, that's a long story. But I'll make it.
You could shorten it or whatever.
Yeah, so I originally started this band, I'm going to say 30 years ago. And I had two of the three members and couldn't find the bass player. And at the time when I wanted to do this band, I was in a Kiss tribute band called Cold Gin.
Okay.
With Tommy Thayer, Jamie St. James of Black and Blue, and Chris Cold Sweat. And so we couldn't find a bass player. So I said, well, unfortunately, I have to go back out on the road because I was doing the Kiss thing. I let it go. Years later, I started a cover band calling it Generation Landslide. We started in Phoenix, moved to Ohio, and let it go again. Then I moved back out to Las Vegas 3 years ago, and through different mutual friends and different people, I started playing the music around, and they liked the material, and they said, what are you going to do with it? And I said, I don't know. I have no idea. It's been, a long time. They said, you should start a band. And I thought, oh no, what are we in our 20s again? And so I said, okay, fine. What to call it? I know, Generation Landslide. And there it is 30 years later. So
yeah, very cool. Because why don't you tell us the members in your band?
So besides myself, I have Sandy Stein, who plays guitar. I have John Swanson, who plays bass, and I have a guy by the name of Kevin Diaz, who plays drums.
Okay, very cool. And yeah, are they all located in Las Vegas?
Two of them are. Two of them are here, as well as myself, and the other one's outside of Cleveland.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So definitely a long commute.
Yeah, I pretty much took him when I decided to fully do this as a band. I knew one person that I wanted in mind. And the funny thing was that was the missing piece I was missing 30 years ago. Couldn't find a bass player for nothing. My friend John, I played in a cover band with for many, many years in Ohio. And I said, if I start this, he's the guy I want to play bass in it. So that's how so full circle.
That's crazy how things work out,
Yeah, I agree, actually.
Yeah. So, what are you guys currently working on? I know you have Love and Pain is your latest release, correct?
Right. Um,
Okay.
we're thinking about putting another single out and doing a video. We're actually starting to talk about it now. Um, Maybe in the next 3 weeks to a month or so. I'm trying to find something cool, a great concept for the next song. The first video we did, Feel the Sensation, was just the band playing, just to
Right.
introduce the band. And then the second one, we thought we'd do a storyline. The second one was Little Miss Lonely, and it was more of
Yeah.
a storyline about a relationship and stuff
It
like
was
that.
actually really good. I mean, I really liked that video.
Yeah, I was very surprised how it actually came out. I knew the story that was in my head, and I thought, well, how can we make that transposed to a video without just being so dated or so typical or
Right.
corny? So I was able to pull that one off miraculously. And then we did Love and Pain, which was the ballad. And I wanted to do a different kind of song, something everybody expects a ballad, the boy, girl, the this and the other. So
Yeah.
I wanted to show the band differently in the recording studio, and then me up on a roof and all this other crazy stuff. But then I wanted it to tie in where it's more about the girl and friends and meeting people. They just happen to meet at a Generation Landslide show. And so we've done all those. And then I wanted to do something different this time. I don't really fully know yet, but I'm going to come up with something here in the next few weeks. So
Well, that's cool. Rock and roll is always a work in progress,
always,
you know?
oh, it
So,
is.
but Larry, let's talk a little bit about you now. Like what is your background in rock and roll?
My background starts, I grew up here in Las Vegas, and I played in a band called Excursion. And back then, at that time, it consisted of me and Mark Slaughter, who
Okay.
became Slaughter.
Yeah.
So we started this band, and we put an EP out, and we put an album out, and we were just young kids at this point, and Vegas was up and coming. It was young, this is like 1981, you know, and that was exciting until we all grew up. You thought, oh, this is it, this is the answer. And then you grow up and then you move. And then I moved to Los Angeles, and I had a couple of different other bands um, that had management deals and possible record deals, but couldn't seal the deal. My name came across to a guy named Mark Ferrari, who was the guitar player in Keel. And so I auditioned for the band, got the job as the drummer for that, because I played drums for most of my career. I played drums. And so we did that, and we lost the singer to George Lynch. A lot of people know that story of George Lynch coming up to the whiskey and stealing our singer, but that's okay. So then we did that album, we did that tour. And then after that, I did the Kiss tribute band. Now, at that point, the two guys from Black and Blue had done 4 records, and they were kind of idle. And me and Chris, who was the bass player of Cold Sweat, we were kind of idle. And so we thought it would be fun to do a Kiss tribute band. Now, at that point in time, this is like 1991, and nobody was doing tribute bands, not like,
Oh no. They were signing bands every 10 minutes.
right. Right. I mean, everybody under the sun was getting all sorts of crazy things, but then we thought we need to do something different. So we thought, well, why not go this way? We were all 4 into Kiss as we were growing up, and so we did, and we just thought, well, let's just try this. And one thing just turned into another. And in the beginning, it was just Kiss t-shirts and trying to do the makeup. And then it just got more and more and more and more. Next thing you know, we've got the boots, the outfits, we've got all the stage show going. And so I did that for so many years. And then after that, I had had enough. So I kind of disappeared. So I took off to the backwoods of Ohio and just started a cover band. And I didn't want the pressure anymore, and feeling like, you probably know that, everything is full of pressure and stuff when you're in a band or you want to do this and you want to do that. And it's just this constant, thing. So I thought, well,
Yeah.
I'm done with thinking about that. I'll just do a little cover band and just have fun. So I did that for probably close to 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I resurfaced right before COVID because Cold Sweat got back together again and we got asked to be on the Monsters of Rock cruise.
Right.
So that opened up the whole thing again. And the next thing you know, here I am 3 years later, hair's all grown out long again, back into the business again. And it's frustrating as hell. But
Hey,
it's
trust me, I might be a rock journalist, but it's still frustrating
right.
for me as well. And
Yeah, it is. Nowadays is definitely different than it was before.
yeah, because I mean, back in the 80s, even like the mid 80s, I mean, they were doing deals in the restrooms with a band.
Right.
Sign
Right.
here.
Right.
They were giving them a 1 or 2 record deal.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And back then MTV was in its heyday.
Yep.
So yeah, we're
Yep.
gonna give you a 2 record deal and we're gonna give you 3 videos and
Right.
this and that. Those type
But
of deals aren't done anymore.
right. But here's the catch. We want you to sound and act and look just like this, and this. So then the next thing
Right.
you know, for all the 80s hair bands came because everybody had to follow suit.
Right. It's like, okay, they use Aquanet. So we want all you guys in the band to use Aquanet.
Right. Of course. Of course. But those were the fun days.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming from a different generation of rockers, unfortunately, things have to move forward, but I'm still saying though, I've said this on several of my interviews, rock and roll never left, but it's making a huge comeback in 23 because I've never seen as many bands hitting the road on major tours and major festivals than in 23.
Thank God. I mean,
Yeah.
we've been waiting for this now for quite a while,
Yeah.
And I think as far as we're concerned, like with Generation Landslide, if you really listen to the record and you listen to the songs, that's what I'm trying to do is bring that back with a little different of a twist of it. If you sit and go, oh, well, this song sounds like Black Crowes, this song sounds like this and that, you can't really tell what the material sounds like. It just sounds like good, fun, arena rock and roll.
Yeah,
And
it's like categorizing. Yeah, it's like categorizing stuff is like ridiculous.
Yeah. So more bands and more artists and everybody keep going down that road. That's great. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more of a revival, saying, well, what's this band sound like? Oh my God, they're a mixture of this. They're great. You need that excitement back again,
Yeah, and
so,
especially with the original music, because I love Las Vegas, okay? But, Las Vegas is getting a stigma now of cover bands. Now,
oh my God.
now,
Yeah. Right.
I've made it a point. This is just my platform on my show. I will not interview cover bands unless they have original material.
Right.
Back
right.
it up.
Right.
Okay. Cover bands are great. They're bringing in the business. I get it. But you know what?
Right.
There are bands in Vegas right now that have original material that are killing it.
Right.
That need to be heard.
And not a lot of people are hearing it because they're so used to playing covers and playing tribute bands. Everybody that goes to shows go, oh, can you play this and this and this and this? Well, why don't you take 5 minutes and listen to our originals and you tell me what you think? We're not here to be a cover band or a tribute band. And they're starting to get more and more and more and more everywhere you go.
Well, and you know what? I can attest that, like I'll give you an example. Crashing Wayward does an In Excess song. And I love it, man. It's just I love the version of that song. And that's cool.
That's different.
Cool. That's
right.
different.
That's
Okay.
different. I
But
agree.
if you're basing your fan base on cover tunes and expecting to go anywhere,
You're not.
no.
Right. Right. You're not.
Okay. You're going to stay exactly where you are.
Right. Except for I think people now are more driven by money, unfortunately.
And,
Unfortunately, I'm an old school guy. I come from an old school way, and I'm not there to make millions. And I know I won't make millions, but I will enjoy playing the music that I want to play, as opposed to, sure, I'm in a couple of cover bands in town just the same. And I'll play whatever people want to play to a certain point and a degree. And
right,
then tribute. Everybody, you turn around, everybody's got a tribute band because they think, oh, I got to have an AC/DC, a Journey, a this, a that. And everybody's got to have them because they think that's the only way to make money. And it's unfortunate that that's what
right.
it's.
And I see that Vegas is opening up some new venues. The Penalty Box is the latest addition to the rock club scene.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
Friday night, I'm going to check out. A lot of my friends are playing.
Oh, you there yet?
Yeah. So I'm super excited to check this out, but I'm glad to see these clubs opening.
Yes.
So it gives people a different atmosphere other than one club
Right.
to
And
go
once
to.
you said the Penalty Box, and that comes from an old school, has by the name of, his name is John, and he
Yeah,
grew up all of us,
right.
and that's all about. He wants to bring different kinds of music and have rock music Friday nights. This is, hey, you want to hear rock music? Here's where you go. You need more of those kinds of places that,
Yes,
open up more venues, get more of a scene going again. And we
right.
thought Rockstar was going to do that. I remember talking to you there, and
Yeah.
for a minute, Rockstar was a cool place. Everybody was starting to play there, and yeah.
Well, I heard a little rumor that Rockstar Bar is coming back.
That's a good thing because it's a
I
great
I can't talk about it other than that.
right.
You'll hear it first on my show. So
But yeah,
keep
that's a great
yourself posted.
location. It was a good alternative place to play. You know,
I love the vibe in there. I love um Steve Johns. We're good friends. His partner John is an amazing part of that business. So if this comes to fruition, I'm super excited
yeah, I agree.
to
Another
be
place,
back there.
right? Add it to the list. I think it's great.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But yeah, I mean, rock and roll itself, I think Vegas is kind of getting a resurgence. So you have to kind of think of it like this, Larry. All the way through pandemic, these tours were getting stopped, like canceled in their tracks. And I was just talking to Rob DeLuca from Spread Eagle, and they are now going on the road starting on the 19th and making up all the dates that they had to cancel, and that's including Europe.
Nice.
So I'm super excited for that band because yeah, their lives had to be put on hold too. And
Right.
so I'm glad that these rock bands are getting some of those dates back,
Right.
making them up now in 23.
Hey, that would be great. Put in a good word for us. We'll open up any show.
Right, but yeah, I
Like,
mean, we've got a lot of things going on. Are you guys going to play out anytime soon, or what's happening?
we're gonna try. We had a drummer change, so now we're just finishing getting him up to speed, which he's almost there, and we're trying to start scouting some of the different locations again to try to get back out there.
Yeah, I
So
mean, you've got gold. Yeah, you've got Gold Mine Tavern, which
sure,
is a great place.
backyard,
Got Backyard, also. I
yep,
mean, you've got Dive Bar.
right. And
Um,
then there's downtown that is a Triple B or
yeah,
something like that, or
Backstage Bar and Billiards. Ava
yeah,
Berman and Carlos Berman
the
are friends of
place.
mine. They're
Yeah,
awesome. That place is great. They
yeah.
actually have two showrooms. People don't know about that. but
Oh,
there's
nice.
actually 2 showrooms in that location. So,
Nice.
if you haven't seen a show at Backstage, man, I definitely suggest you go because that's a great venue.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet. I'm gonna go and check that out actually pretty soon.
Yeah, because people walk right off the street and right into the club. So,
Right.
yeah, and
Or-
they're actually booking a lot of great bands.
Nice. Cool.
So,
Yeah, I'll check that.
yeah, that's another great place. I mean, I'm glad that these clubs are opening up because we need, like you said, we need something different. You know, we need
Right.
an alternative place. Okay. Other
Right.
than, I'm not going to mention the club. You know what I'm talking about. But,
Right. I know what you
you
mean.
know, because I mean, I hang
Sure.
out there. So, but I love it. But let's get some different flavor. Okay.
Right. I agree.
Vegas.
Different band flavors. I agree. Cool.
Because there's a lot going on. So, Larry,
Yeah.
tell me some of your rock influences.
Um, on drums, my influences were people like Tommy Aldridge, Leonard Hayes from Y&T, um, stuff like that. My influences are way different than anything else. And on guitar, my influences are Mark Farner of Grand Funk Railroad, Rick Emmett of Triumph, um, Dave Meniketti of Y&T.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
Yeah, I'm way different in everything that I like. I like all the mainstream and all the regulars just the same. But
Right.
my are bands that are like, wow, really? You wouldn't expect stuff like that. It's so that's mine are just very different.
But
Very
that's,
different.
you know what though? They're different, but let me tell you something. Those players that you mentioned are rock history right there.
Right. Well, they're different players, meaning I like the players like for guitar, I like the players that played guitar and sang. The Paul Stanley. He's another one of my big influences. By doing the Kiss thing many years and stuff, I got to meet him, got to know him, so on and so forth. And his personality, his charisma, the way he sings, the way he moves, he's got that totally dead. That's classic old school. Then I take someone like a Mark Farner or a Rick Emmett or a Dave Meniketti, and they can play, they can sing, they can just do all around stuff. So for me, that's what I like. But I love the Jimi Hendrix, the Jimmy Pages, and the Pete Townsends of
Right.
course. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, of course. What was the first record you ever bought with your own money?
oh God, that goes way, way back. Probably, I'd either say it was a cross between either Alice Cooper Schools Out or, oh God, I can't think of another one. There was several. I'm talking.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Normally the answer, is like Kiss or something to that effect. But yeah, I mean, totally.
Yeah, I mean, I did the Kiss thing. I used to, stand on my parents' roof and play a tennis racket like
Right.
everybody, you know. Uh, yeah, I did the Kiss thing. I did the Led Zeppelin thing. I did the Alice Cooper thing. I mean, and that's through the 70s. And then as the 80s came, I kind of switched a little bit. Everybody went for these type of bands. I went for bands like Y&T and Kicks and
Yes.
Tesla. And
Oh
you know what I'm
God.
saying? I went down that road instead of more of the glitz and glam, which is fine.
Right.
I went more for the old school 80s. Yeah, they had the hair and everything, but it was more
The
old
sound.
school. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Kicks is one of my favorite bands, I got to tell you. Midnight Dynamite was like one of my first records.
yeah,
And I actually still have the original vinyl somewhere.
not. I love that band. I love that
Oh
band.
my God. I saw them last year at the Cannery.
Yeah, first time I saw them was, I think, 1983, I think, and then 85, and then 87. For each record, when I liked a band and I lived in LA through the 80s, anytime they'd come, I'd go and see them as many times as I could. So I
Right.
saw numerous amounts of times. I loved them. Yeah.
I'm sad to see them go, but let's say at least they know when to stop.
Absolutely. Well, they pretty much did everything. I mean,
Yeah,
they started the beginning of all this, and then everybody kind of followed suit with them, but they didn't get some of the credit that they deserved.
right.
Now later people realize and go, wait a minute, man, I remember a band called Kicks did that, and they started a lot of that, Warrant, Poison, all of those kinds of songs and all of that kind of
Yeah,
stuff weren't flashy like them. That's all. But they had the material from the beginning. So
yeah, they were a great band. They're going to be sadly missed.
I
You
agree.
know?
I agree.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, look at Aerosmith. This is it. This is the end of the road for them.
right. But I'll give Aerosmith one thing that they retained all five guys. Do you know how hard that is to do?
Yeah,
It's possible nowadays, but they have the same five original members. Very, very hard. I mean,
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, look at Van Halen. Okay, they went through so many singer changes
yep,
once Dave left.
right,
It was the Gary Sharon show.
right,
Then it was the Sammy Hagar, and they say that was a real band after that. You know,
right.
I mean, I saw every. I mean, I'm rare because I did see every single Van Halen tour. So
Nice.
I mean, I have been a fan for forever.
Right,
And
right.
yeah, that band is sorely missed as well on the road.
Absolutely. But it is important what a lot of people don't realize. I mean, you can find replacements, you can find alternates, like, the difference between Bon Scott and Brian Johnson. Okay, I
Right.
get it. That's great and fine. But a majority of the bands, you lose the original players, something dies, something alters, and something changes. And sure, it could still be good and they could still put out great material, but that original, 1981, you see Van Halen on, Fair Warning tour, and you just
Yeah.
sit and, oh my God. I mean,
Right.
not that versions were any worse,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
that's
But
original.
again, rock and roll will live on forever, you know.
Right,
Um,
right.
but yeah, it's good to see that Aerosmith's going out on a good note as well.
I agree. I
Um,
agree.
because they've been
Definitely.
in Vegas here on and off doing their residencies and canceled many times because of Steven Tyler's health and
Right. Good
and the
that they're going to shit up. I'm glad.
yeah.
Absolutely. I
So
agree.
they're going out with the bang as well. What was the first concert you ever saw, Larry?
First concert I ever saw, and it's Anthony.
Oh, I'm
Sorry.
sorry. What am I calling you Larry for? I'm
I
sorry.
don't know. I know a Larry, but I'm thinking Larry.
Yeah.
My very first concert was 1976, was the Doobie Brothers.
Yes.
And it
I
was at
love
the
the Doobie Brothers, Anthony. What a great band.
theater, which is now Planet Hollywood. And,
Yeah.
you know, that was my very first concert I saw. And the funny thing is, my very second concert was Thin Lizzy
Oh
in
my God.
1970. Now, not a lot of people
Oh,
didn't go, holy crap, you saw Thin Lizzy back in their prime.
Phil
And
Lynott, man.
yeah, I
Oh
just
my
happened to
God.
be, was able to get tickets. KOMP, when we were all growing up, was
Yeah.
the radio station. I'm not that it is now, but back then they used to give tickets away, albums away, and us as kids, we used to sit there and just call on the phone and
Oh
try to
my
win it.
God. Yeah.
Vegas was cool back then. It was a very small town, and it was great. It
I
was great.
know. Yeah. I mean, things aren't like that anymore, I mean,
No,
radio is dead.
yeah,
Okay. The only thing, yeah, the only thing that's really going, you got Spotify, you got iHeartRadio, and you got Sirius.
right. That's really it. Local stations now, are they all like programmed or something now? I don't even know if they even have
I'm
any.
pretty sure they are. I mean, I've heard a few rock tunes on a few of a local Vegas radio, but I mean, you can't find a YNT being played on there. You can't find a Disturbed played on there.
Right.
I mean, it's, yeah,
You won't get that anymore,
no,
unfortunately. Yeah. Well,
no,
that's
but
the same with record stores. If you're going
yeah,
to take away radio stations, you may as well take away record stores because they don't have those anymore either. you
right.
know,
But Z is really cool though. I love that place.
Z is great. It's always been great for many, many, many years. That's one of the
Yeah,
actual record stores left, you know.
I know. Because they closed Tower Records in LA, didn't they? Or did they
Yep.
reopen it?
They closed every Tower Records. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one here, the funny little story of that back in the day, they had Foreigner coming to town on the Double Vision tour in 1978. And we were all standing in line outside of Tower Records because they were doing a meet and greet. Now imagine how exciting that was back then.
Oh my God. I did some meet and greets when I lived in Chicago. I did one with Dio. They had
Oh,
big, they had the big dragon out front.
Yep.
I got to talk to Ronnie James Dio and his wife for about 2 minutes. I mean, wow. That's one of my rock and roll stories. I mean,
that's old school. You don't get that anymore, you know?
no.
Need to try to bring back somehow, some way, make things a little bit larger than life again, you know, just something a little exciting, you know, just to get
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, because it's funny because I talked to a lot of bands and a lot of bands are doing a lot of interaction with their fans. And I think pandemic actually forced a lot of bands to start connecting with their fans because guess what? That was it.
Yep.
They didn't have a live venue to play at or a bar
Right.
or anything like that. It was Zoom.
Right.
You know, it was Instagram,
Right.
it was Facebook, you know.
Right. As unfortunate as I think it is, social media is the only way to keep things going and moving. If you have a band and if you're into a band and you want to find out the latest thing that's happening, now you can get almost up close to just about every band, anybody you possibly can through Zoom, through Facebook, through any kind of social media. So it at least brings it a little bit closer to people, you know, again, or
Yeah.
else everybody out in the dark, you know, people don't know what's going on anymore.
Right. And I think that's why I do what I do. You know, I do it for the love of rock. There isn't anybody in this town that's doing what I do. I mean,
Nope.
I'm bringing all the latest indie artists from all over the world that you don't even know who they are, some of these artists. But
Right.
where else are you going to get to know these people?
You're not. You are doing it. That's great. I mean, you couldn't act better than that, really.
Yeah. And I mean, I do it for the love of the music. You know what I'm saying?
Thank God for that. Now you're one. So let's chalk you up as one. Now let's get 99 million more to, you know.
It's funny because a lot of people come up to me and they call me the female Eddie Trunk. I'm like, wait a second.
Hey, that's pretty good.
I know. I love Eddie Trunk. I've seen him many times. We've talked a few times at Vamped. But yeah, I mean, I almost see this is gonna be funny, but I kind of see myself as the rock and roll Oprah Winfrey.
That's great. I think it's great.
You know?
Definitely.
And but it's kind of a funny running joke because people come up to me all the time, like they have seen the show or see a post. Oh, I know who you are, or whatever. You know, it's funny. You know, I'm grateful for the people that are following me and meeting me out and about in Vegas, and it means a lot to me. And it means a lot to me by talking to you, Anthony, and getting the word out about your band.
I think it's great. I couldn't thank you enough that, you know, when I did see you at Sally Steele's thing, I thought, oh God, oh no, I hope this is cool and everything. And you were, I was like, wow, okay, this is great. This is the kind of person that I want to be associated with. This is going to bring the word out. This is going to help, you know, rock and roll, all the excitement that you're wanting to have again in this modern day. And I love it.
And Sally Steele's an amazing lady. I mean, I look up to her. She is rock history in all shapes and forms. So
and she was too.
Yeah.
hi to her or whatever. She was a very nice person. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And it was nice of her to let me come to the premiere. It was an amazing film
it
uh,
was. I
about
thought
the
it was.
Burnett family.
I thought it was great. And then this is where I have the conflict. What I have the problem with is I think it's great to try to get everything out there. And then she announces that one of the brothers is sitting right there in the front row. And I'm thinking, why isn't this place jam packed? Why aren't people getting excited about this? This is history right here.
I
But
know.
I feel like, does anybody care? It's like you should care because it was a really good film.
It
And you have
was.
people there going, why wouldn't you want to at least bring, old school back again and try to support it?
And that's why I'm glad I was there to support her, you know.
Yeah,
Um, Vegas needs to get behind that film because it is really it's an intense film. And like I was telling Sally, I go, you were real. It was
absolutely. I
real.
thought the same thing. Yep. I
It
definitely,
wasn't scripted.
yep,
You weren't reading off a script. I mean,
right,
it was no holds barred. I mean, yeah. So
right.
I'm glad to meet her. And like I said, I have a lot of respect for her. She's rock and roll history, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of just trying to do my own thing,
And
here
you,
in Vegas.
and Lauren, you will. I think this is great. I'm so thankful and glad that you actually got me on your show. I think that's wonderful. And I very much appreciate it. So,
Yeah. So let's keep in touch, Anthony. I'm sure I'm gonna see you out and maybe I'll see you Friday night.
yeah,
Penalty box.
I might go there this Friday night. I've got to do
Okay.
some video work and then I got a show on Saturday, but I might go down.
Where's your show on Saturday?
We're playing like, I guess it's a poker run or something at Backyard.
Oh, okay. So can anybody come to this? Why don't you tell the viewers?
Yeah, so this is at Backyard on Water Street in Henderson, and it's from 12:30 to 3:30. It's like a poker run slash bike run, I guess, or something. The name of the band is 1NB, which is One Non Blonde, which is obviously
Okay.
me.
Yeah.
And it's a cover band, but it's a lot of fun songs. It's not your common typical fun song. This
Oh,
is,
very cool.
good fun cover songs. So we'll be there from 12:30 to 3:30 this Saturday. So yeah.
Oh, very cool. So yeah, so we'll keep in touch.
Okay.
I'll get you to come back on the show once we start getting some movement here and we figure out when you're going to be playing out again.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much, Anthony, for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I do appreciate it.
I really appreciate you coming on and letting the viewers know. Why don't you tell them exactly where they can find all your music?
So to get the CD, if that's what you do anymore, which a lot of people don't, you can get the CD at vanitymusicgroup.com. Plus in the record stores and whatever record stores are left available. It's streaming on everything. The name of the band is Generation Landslide. The name of the album's called Ruling the Street Scene. And there's videos out on YouTube and it's streaming on all of the platforms.
Right. Now, I know I wanted to mention this too. Anthony White and Jennifer Swanson produced that, correct?
That video.
Yeah, the video.
Correct. The Love and Pain video is mostly her. It's me acting like but she's the one who did all the work, right. Actually, to be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah, so she did that.
I just wanted to mention because that was really cool, Anthony.
Yeah, I thought the video came out really good. She did a tremendous job. I was very, very happy. So we're going to try to do a second one with her.
Okay.
Within the next month or something like that. I will
very
definitely.
Cool. Yeah, keep me updated on that.
I will.
That'll be super cool. Well, thank you so much, Anthony. Enjoy your Wednesday, and hopefully I'll see you Friday night.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks, Anthony. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Anthony, great guy from Generation Landslide. This is a great band. I mean, this isn't something that, other bands aren't doing. They have multiple projects going. This band is gonna be in Vegas to stay, so I'll keep you posted. I'm the Vegas rock goddess, Carol Nevin. Thank you for watching. Always like and subscribe to On the Rocks Total Entertainment, and I will see you next time.